On today's episode of Wellness on the Rocks, I'm sitting down with someone who truly embodies hard work, creativity, and authenticity in San Diego's hospitality scene. She's the Southern California brand ambassador for Proximo Spirits, and if you've ever seen her in an event, you'll know the kind of presence she brings. The energy, the confidence, the way she connects with people, she gets up and does her thing. Nina started bartending her way through Florida State University before launching her career with the NFL's Atlanta Falcons. From there, she found her calling in the spirits world, where she built a career around storytelling, community, and connection. In our conversation, we dive into how she stays authentic in today's fast-moving world of social media, how she balances wellness while working around alcohol, and her advice for women looking to grow their careers in a male-dominated space. Welcome to the show, Nina Singer. Fun. The podcasting thing is cool. I think it's a cool space. I don't know. I was kind of looking for creative outlets to get into.
Yeah.
I think like the photography stuff by myself is, I don't know. I like the connectivity with doing stuff like this.
Yeah. It's once again creating a more human connection.
Yeah, seriously.
I just think we're all waking up. We're all realizing that day by day we're missing some of that communication and some of that human interaction, and everything has become so behind a screen.
Dude, dead ass.
Just constant interaction always. I mean, even in my line of business as a brand ambassador, it's business is being done on text message, on phone call. We try to be as in person as possible, but everyone wants their answers now. And once again, you and I were just chit-chatting about this before officially going on the podcast about AI and how that's picking up, and, you know, dating apps. I mean, the list goes on, and we're just losing that daily. I mean, half of my friends are out here joining run clubs just to
Fuck yeah, dude.
have human interaction, just to have something that's a community event one-on-one without talking through a screen. Like,
bro, yeah, the community interaction's tough. I think that's what's cool about coming to visit us at the bar is, like, you know, because I work at the public house, so we're more of like, it's kind of one of those old school Irish pubs where, I don't know if have you ever been to Stout before?
Yes.
Oh, you have? Yeah.
I went once right when I had moved here. Yeah.
The reason I like that is because it's like, I've worked in like the clubs in New York City and the craziness and the sports bars and stuff, but like it's a very communal environment. So like you kind of like get to know your neighbor. It's like everybody's chatting. You're part of the conversation. But
that's why I feel like I'm so big. I'm a dive bar girl till I die. Like, I feel that the neighborhood bars, the dive bars, the almost like pubs or any of those type of things are my preference, because if I'm going out and I'm having a cocktail or a drink, I want to talk.
Yeah.
Especially I've been a very here, there, and everywhere person. I've moved quite a bit. If I'm going to a bar, there's two things I'm going to look for. Hopefully meeting new people or making connections. I'm really big on that. I love sitting at a bar because you're going to likely talk to, whether it's the bartender or another guest. I'm really, really big on, you know, conversation. Me as a brand ambassador, part of my job is to go to bars, talk to bartenders, educate bartenders, not only just talk about our brands, but get to know the community and kind of be a spearheader and leader of the community by doing events, things like that. So I'm in bars quite a bit alone.
Bro, but here's the thing. When you work at a bar and it's like, on my off days, I can't just be going to bars all the time too, because then you literally spend 7 days a week in a restaurant or a bar, and it just kind of fucking eats me up.
Yep.
But so you moved out here from Florida?
Yeah, I moved here from Miami, Florida.
Okay. Where'd you grow up?
I am a Florida, Georgia mutt.
Okay.
I was born in Florida, born in South Florida, raised in North Florida and Georgia. So that's where I get my little
twang from.
Yeah, I got a little beachness. I got a little country in there as well. But I'm a Florida, Georgia mutt, and I went back and forth between both states for quite some time. Like, went to high school in Georgia, went back to Florida to go to Florida State.
Okay.
And then my first job was actually in Atlanta with the Falcons. So I went right into the sports industry before I ever went into the spirits industry. Always had a marketing, PR, events, promotions background. So it's been really interesting to kind of get a pulse on everything. But I mean, starting at 14 years old, like I had my first job at a bed and breakfast. I asked my mom, I wanted to start making my own money. And she knew somebody who owned a bed and breakfast in Georgia, in the little mountains of Georgia, where I was lucky enough to grow up for quite some time. And I said, I want to start making my own money. And so she hooked me up with her friend. And I was a dishwasher at the bed and breakfast. Yeah. We had a thing called the magic door. Guests knew the dishwasher was back there. They used to slip 5s, 10s, and around Christmas there'd be $100 bills under there. So that was my, intro to the industry, or so we call it. And ever since then, I didn't leave in some way, shape, or form. All through college, I was bartending. I helped put myself through college, through bartending. Very thankful. I don't know if we'll ever get back to that 2010s cash money that we used to get to leave with. But that massively helped me throughout college, and really is what sparked the overall passion in the long run for the industry.
Yo, so you were FSU you were back there in the Jameis Winston days.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
I have text messages with Jameis Winston.
Oh, really?
He was in my program in college because I was a mass communications and sports management major.
Okay.
So I knew my passion was always marketing, events, PR. And so because I was sports management, I was in the program with all of those guys. So I knew some of them. And then ironically, my first job was in the NFL.
Wow.
So I ironically moved into working my first internship, et cetera, with the Atlanta Falcons. And it was really, really, interesting to know all those guys and kind of get to see things on the back end. But
I was at a Lakers game once, Celtics Lakers, and Jameis Winston walked by us. I mean, he is a big, strong dude. Like, he kind of, when you see him on TV, he kind of has the like out of shape football guy look to him. But it was pretty cool to see him in person. Yo, do you remember like when all the controversy happened with the crab legs?
Oh, of course I did. Oh, I mean, let's put it this way, 2014 or 2013, technically I graduated 2014, they won the 2013 national championship. That was when FSU and Jameis Winston and that whole team was in the thick of it. I mean, every ESPN person was talking about it. And I was in sports management, part major, dual major, and I was in PR. So like I was living around that.
You guys were like the spotlight of the country for sports at that time.
Oh yeah.
For those few months,
Yeah. And it was a really, really good time. I was a senior. So I mean, that's the ultimate college experience, winning the national championship.
I can only imagine being a bartender at that school during that time. I mean, it must have been so fucking exhilarating. Like,
electric.
Being in those moments when your team is like in the run for a championship or when it wins a championship, it's like you don't forget those.
Oh, one of my favorite parts about the spirits and bar industry is how well it does go well with, sports, holidays, you name it. Spirits and special occasions and moments go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And one of my most favorite memories is I was working at Potbellies at the time. Actually 2 different bars at the time, but was a massive, massive sports bar back then. Like there was times totally okay. There was times that Aaron Rodgers would come drink at Potbellies. Like, it was the sports mecca bar. And I think
what
that's
city was this
in Tallahassee.
Oh, wow.
So there was times that there was really big moments in me. I was actually the manager at that time of all the table girls. So we were a massive bar, and I had all these awesome, great girls being, table service girls. And it was a sports bar, and everything was electric. The moments that were created, I remember we worked that one day, and then we all went to the nightclub after, and physically, that was a moment for the books. I remember popping the champagne, celebrating, everybody was bringing home wads of cash.
Fucked. Yeah. Yeah. I remember I used to bartend in New Jersey, and this was probably pre and post COVID, right around that time. And it was when Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving were on the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh yeah.
And so you're in a Belleville, New Jersey, like a small town local sports bar. And you have the Bucks and the Nets playing in the playoffs. And when Kevin Durant, Game 7, hits that step back 3, you have like a few hundred people in this packed bar with the DJ lights music. The place erupts like it's an environment like I've never been before.
Yeah.
Bottles up in the air, champagne, crazy. And then unfortunately his foot was on the line. It goes to overtime and they lose. It was heartbreaking, but it's like, dude, those environments are like, you don't forget those moments.
No, like I can tell you exactly where I was when we won the national championship, and the exact moment, and you don't forget those. And once again, that's probably one of my favorite things of the correlation of the sports industry is like spirits industry is spirits hand in hand with moments.
Deadass. Yeah. So you are a brand ambassador for Proximo Spirits.
Mm-hmm.
And so kind of why did you want to get into brand ambassador and that side as opposed to keep going down the bartending and front of house and face kind of position?
So my story isn't exactly the most traditional brand ambassador story. A lot of people actually go straight from buyers or decision makers, or even salespeople, etc. on the spirit side. I actually worked in the sports industry for 5 years, always bartending on the side. I always loved still having that human interaction. I worked for the Florida Panthers. I was working for the Florida Panthers as their events and promotions person for the arena and for the team. So I was doing group events, theme nights, etc. And a friend of mine from college, ironically, who used to come into my bar, she was a part-time, almost like a brand ambassador. She was like a collegiate advocate at the time. She used to come into my bar that I used to work at. And she was in the spirits industry. She ended up growing. Now she is very high up in my old company and my old agency. So she made it very far. An amazing woman in the industry. Also can balance a work-life balance like nobody I've ever seen. She has a family, like a husband, children, like admirable as everything. And so I got back in touch with her and we talked about the spirits industry, and I loved sports so much. But I wanted a little bit more of that flexibility, human interaction, etc. And so I was lucky enough that Bacardi brought me back on at that time to be an event manager. So I went from event manager to event manager, just switching industries. And man, did I fall deeply, deeply in love again. My spark had like kind of come back, and I had really been excited to make this transition. So I did events and promotions as well for Team Enterprises / all the Bacardi brands. And it was all of a sudden there that I had a team of girls all over Florida, running events and promotions, etc. And I really fell in love with the brand stories. And when you look at spirits, like even me, I feel so jaded, or like, I've been in the industry now, as we talked about, 10 years probably at this point. And sometimes we get a little jaded and we get a little tired. But even like retelling the story like sparks a little bit in you. And you're like, oh my God, this feeling is so good. Like remembering these moments. And to me, every really good spirit, most good spirits have good stories. And I fell in love with the stories, and I fell in love with telling the stories and creating moments and memories that tell the story. And so from there, I learned about these brand ambassador positions, and I basically realized that these people were creative people making events, telling the brand stories. And I wanted that more than anything. And I started to really fall in love with certain brands at the time on the portfolio for the brands I was working for at the time. And I just dove in. I started learning all about them, learning their stories, getting excited to tell their stories to my girls. And that just became a goal of mine. Like, I think people don't realize how difficult, especially in larger cities, it is to get a brand ambassador role. They are coveted. I really wanted it at the time. And I was an event manager and the world shut down. And I got furloughed, and I decided to go find myself. And I was very lucky. My lease was up and I had nothing holding me back, and I was furloughed, and I just packed up, sold all my stuff, packed everything else that I had, and my dog in my car. And I was very lucky that I just got to go travel and discover myself during COVID. And lo and behold, as this industry always does, it is the best talent to lean back on. I got to become a bartender. Back in COVID, I had settled all around different parts of the United States, but Denver was home. And I got a bartending job in Denver. And I was back behind the bar. And I was lucky enough that Illegal, Mezcal, reached out to me at the time. And they were looking for a part-time brand ambassador. And that's where this all started is when you have a passion, I feel like it exudes from you. And when you dive deep into that, other people see and feel it, and everything naturally comes into play. So I had kind of had this vision. I had fell in love with spirits. Somebody else saw how I told the story. And I was lucky enough to get the opportunity. And it started as me part-time brand ambassador, part-time behind the bar, part-time doing events still, because events were slowly starting to come into play. And man, as my career skyrocketed from there. So, yeah, I just told a really long version of saying it was the passion of the story. So
no, but I think you do a really good job at that. I think so. I went to your event last week was a communion?
Yeah.
So you held a like tequila tasting event with Jose Cuervo.
Yes.
And you got up and spoke in front of a large group for 20, 30 minutes. And I was impressed. I was like, oh, wow, she's really good at, you're talking about like storytelling, but you're very good at like communicating your brands to a group of people. And I think for like it is a skill set to do that. And like, as you were just sitting there talking, I was kind of thinking about that. Like it is storytelling. There's an aspect of sales and storytelling and delivering a brand and connecting with people. That's like, it's important. And I think that sometimes I get jaded by sales. I think it's like, I need to pump numbers and get you to buy my product. But like when you do look at like the art of storytelling is similar to whether it's like, podcasting or these other things or watching a movie. Like, I don't know. I think it's cool. I think it's cool. It's a cool, like, there is a creative artistic aspect in doing this kind of work, whether you're selling spirits or you're selling fitness or you're selling movies or whatever it is. Like, I love the creative aspect of that.
100%.
And I think, like, you're a female, I'm a male. There is this like male image that you have to drive sales and you have to make money, but and like that's what we should be focusing on. But like, I do like the creative aspect of the storytelling and the sales.
That's one of the best things about getting to work in the marketing department, and getting to specifically be a brand ambassador position. A lot of people don't realize, there is a difference. It's so funny because I talk about marketing or I talk about this. Oh, you're a sales rep. No, I'm not a rep at all. I think a lot of people just see one thing and they associate everything. They just don't know the industry, right? And I think that's so massive for anybody who's wanting to get out from behind the bar, start to build a certain career, etc. There is so many things you don't know about the industry and these brands until you're really diving in and you're seeing all the positions, all the things. And thankfully, I am more on the marketing and storytelling side, and that's where my passion lies. And does that help with things overall? Yes. But more than anything, I just want people to look at me and think positively about the stories I tell and the experiences that I make.
Yeah.
And I'm very lucky that gets to be associated with a brand. And me and Taylor, my coworker, have been really, our passion project right now is to get people, out in nature and out in these special experiences and not just have these mundane, same old things. Like, we're trying to switch up the industry. It doesn't need to look one certain way. And part of the greatness of this position is you kind of get to be creative and you get to see where you can really go. And you get to loop that in with a story.
Yeah. There are so many creative aspects in this industry, bro. And like, that's what what is there, so you're a brand ambassador. So your job is to basically like, is it to go around and sort of like tell people about Proximo Spirits? And so Proximo Spirits is it's a distribution company, but it owns a bunch of these liquor companies as well, right?
Yeah, it's not distribution, it's the brand directly. So Proximo, that's a whole nother thing. The 3-tiered system in the alcohol industry, there's the distributor, there's the actual brand, and then there's usually agencies, etc. So I actually work for GMR Marketing, which is an agency for Proximo Spirits.
Okay.
But yeah, Proximo is the brand directly, owns Cuervo, 1800, Bushmills.
A lot of liquors.
Yeah.
Proper 12. They just bought for $600 million from Conor McGregor. Like, what?
Yeah. So it's one of those things that there is a lot of brands. There's a lot of marketing agencies. There's a lot of different avenues to take and to look at. And we're lucky enough that the brands we work for have great stories to tell. Yeah. And almost every position I've taken, I purposely try to think, am I going to want to tell this story? Am I going to want to resonate with these brands and what they stand for? And I think that's like a big question that I ask myself as I take these positions is like, what kind of experiences are we going to make? What stories are we going to tell? And for this one specifically, I would say the massive things are education. We want to get the stories out for our brands. We want to educate people on what those brands stand for. We want to educate on things that people don't know. Like, we're there to educate and to show. That can be anywhere from the brand directly to us as people in the community and the things that we can teach people on skills that they can do, like sustainability in their bars. It doesn't always have to be a direct correlation to something specific. It can be a skill set or an overall arching communication of like I said, for me, I have certain passions. My passions are sustainability, making sure that the company, you know, aligns in certain ways with all of us, and being able to tell that story to fill in those gaps of things people might not know. And then once again, that's why the irony of me being on this podcast is making sure that people in the industry have and know that there is wellness balance. And I think it's really important. We've seen a lot of things happen in the industry where some of that may be lost in translation and some things may happen. And it's very important to know that we have a community, we have a wellness space, and that we are able to all kind of have that balance, that it's not impossible. Like now more than ever, I have that balance. And I've been in the industry for over, I mean, if we're talking a job, 10 years, if we're talking bartending, don't want to age
washing
myself.
dishes at 14.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
right.
That's like half your life. More than that,
Yeah.
or whatever. Not really, 5 years. But anyways,
No.
so what do you like, yo, dude? All right, from my perspective, I work at an industry bar, Step Public House. It's an industry bar. It's a local neighborhood spot. I see a lot of the same people, and I just try to like. There is this yin and yang with this product that we're selling, and I think it's like a taboo thing to talk about. Is that it does, there's like. People can struggle in life. And I think that like what I do for a living is talk to people in the hospitality industry, and I listen to them, and you kind of hear what the challenges that people go through.
Yeah.
I had a customer the other day. He was Sunday. I'm working Sunday football. He walks in and he gets off the phone. He just goes, "Oh my gosh, I just found out from my doctor that I had stage 3 melanoma and they figured it out and I'm cured and I won't have it." And it's like, people struggle with so many things, and I just have found the balance is important.
Yeah.
So like, is there anything like that you've experienced or struggled with that you've had to look at yourself, maybe your habits or things to be like, I got to fucking pull back or make a change?
Yeah.
Or like, how does like a wellness in this industry sort of impacted you?
Oh man. I mean, that's such a loaded question. So my main thing is boundaries. I hate that word, but man, do I have to use it lately. Hate is a strong word, but being in this industry for 10 years, I have really found that if you don't create boundaries right off the rip and you kind of tell yourself like this is my boundary and I have to hold to it, you're going to fall short over and over again. And especially as a brand ambassador, you're making events, you're educating on alcohol, you're tasting people on it. I mean, you're around it 24/7. And once again, we also kind of talked about this before me coming on, is how hard it is in this industry, as whether you're in marketing, sales, bartender, buyer, manager, event manager. I mean, we can go on and on, that the lines get so blurred. The lines are so blurred. I can't even tell you how many times I have no idea when I'm on and when I'm off. Like, we talked about this. I go to have a drink in San Diego. It's work. It's truly work. So for these jobs, you have to create these boundaries. I'm in hard 75 right now, and in this industry, that's insane. Part of that includes no alcohol for 75 days. And for me, it was just a reset. Like I definitely support fun nights, adventures, good moments, nights out, drinks at the bar with your friend. But for me, for this moment, I just needed a reset. I needed that 75 days. And I'm very lucky that a lot of people are understanding. And I think when doing these things, it all started with dry January. I did dry January. I won't be doing it this year because it'll be right after my 75 days.
Yeah, you gotta do the opposite. That's gonna be wet January, bro. It's snowing. It's melting.
It's melting. So it's one of those things that you have to try it out. It's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be easy. And it started with dry Januaries, and I realized, wow, people are so much more supportive of this than I thought. You know, once you dip your toe in, you realize like, okay, it's okay to have a reset. It's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to lean on your community. I'll say community 17 times over on this podcast probably, because without community, it makes it hard.
It is, dude. Yeah, a lot of people are just chilling by themselves going through this industry, you know, and they don't have any place to turn to, so they just develop these self-destructive behaviors. It's tough. It's balance.
Yeah. So I just highly recommend leaning in on people, finding like-minded individuals, and saying no and having boundaries is okay.
I think expressing yourself through when you like, I talk a little bit about this a lot. I talk a lot about this on my podcast. Like people do struggle, and it's okay to voice that. I think that like it's good, this expression, this new age of expression that we're coming into. It's important.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, the whole like being in the industry thing. When I went with my friend Courtney to your event the other day at Communion, and we're doing free tequila tasting. It was great. You did a good job. You're pouring us all these reposados and añejos. I learned all this stuff about Jose Cuervo, what they do, and you're feeding us fucking tacos and this tuna tartare. It was great.
So you had a good time.
We had a good time, and you did a really good job. But afterwards, so we get done the events, and we're like, all right, dude, like we're kind of on one. So we go across the street to the Lamplighter, and we're, you know, drinking IPAs on the patio, ripping cigs, and it's just like the day's begun.
Yeah.
And it just goes from there to Fred's. We're back at Fred's eating chicken tacos, margaritas. Rest in peace to Fred's. Fred's in Old Town just closed down. I don't know if you heard that.
Oh, it's one after the next.
It sucks. I know. It feels like everybody. And then it's like, okay, I'm kind of fucked up. I'm going to go home and take a nap. I go home, take a nap from like 6 to like 9. Wake up. Then you go back out. We're at fucking, we're in PB, the cheeseburger restaurant. What am I thinking of?
Friendlies?
Right now? No, not Friendlies. Fuck, man. Why can't I think of this bar's name? Anyways, then you know we're back in PB, and it's just like it's so easy to turn into a bender.
Yeah.
When you go to these events.
I mean, when I was young, like when I was, you know, 24, 25, 26, 27, coming into this industry, if you don't notice and you don't call yourself out, and you really hold those train tracks, it is very easy to just make that a lifestyle.
Yeah.
I say this all the time. It's my life and my job and my outside life and my work in this industry get so blurred.
Yeah.
They get so blurred. And if you don't start making practices that kind of separate those two, it's going to continue to go down that road. So honestly, it took me up until about 2 years ago that I really said, like, I need to create space for myself and for my well-being, and kind of create no routine by any means. Once again, with this industry, we are not lucky enough to be able to get routine, like a set routine. We're too all over the place with schedules, events, etc. But just knowing, hey, I want to accomplish this, and this, and I want to do it in a way that's not gonna. I'm still doing my job and doing my job amazingly, but like, let's maybe only actually drink at tastings 1 or 2 times a week.
Dude, yeah.
Like,
I know. Well, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
You're doing all these tastings. It's like, you know, you're getting paid to drink. One thing I've learned, and for me behind the bar, is like I do develop these like manic drive where your brain, you just go. You don't stop. And I think that was one of the reasons why I focused on this area of the health and wellness in this industry, is because like eventually what happens is you run yourself off a fucking cliff if you don't stop. And like
burnout is real, my guy.
It is, like, I know. And it's like, I think that the ways that I kind of try to come down from that is like spending time outdoors, trying to get exercise. When I say exercise, I don't mean like powerlifting and like heavy squats. I mean like I do like bands exercises, like basically all the exercise was resistance bands, try to keep your muscles tight. I, I'm drinking coffee instead of alcohol. Normally, I don't know why I would be drinking alcohol in the morning, but you never know.
You'd
But anyways,
be surprised.
I do try to find ways to just like, I think that was one of the reasons why I came out here to Southern California is because of the weather, the ability to be outside and things like that. So I'm always looking for new ways to sort of better my life.
Yeah.
And it's tough, dude. You know, I'm trying to keep this mindset of growth in my professional life, in my personal life, mentally, physically. So
yeah, I mean, once again, shout out to Taylor, my coworker. He's my counterpart, also brand ambassador here in Southern California. We just like kind of focus on different areas, but we came together when I started this position, and we're very lucky that we have programming that supports this and programming that is aware that a bartender doesn't always need to go to a happy hour to resonate with different things. So me and Taylor came together and we said, this job or not, personal growth and personal wants and passions, we want to get people outside. We want to, we've done surf events now. We've done kayaking. I'm about to do a horseback riding thing. And once again, we get to do that and tell the story. Like it's a double whammy.
Where is this all through or from?
This is with, we're lucky enough that our company helps fund the activities. But it's like a personal passion of ours. So we get to kind of decide what that looks like and really get people out from behind the bar, which is beautiful.
Oh, wow. I didn't know all that.
Yeah.
So you're doing, this is through your Proximo Spirits or marketing, whatever, and they provide you guys the ability and funding to host these events. Mm-hmm. That's really, how do people find those things?
We post them on our stories. We put them in the community. We have a great San Diego group chat with hundreds of people. We put them in the group chats on our stories, etc. We'll personally invite people. But it's really kind of magical to see. And I just got the best text message. I mean, the support that I've gotten since moving to San Diego is magical. I really wanted to come to this community and be a part, and everybody's really accepted and let me bloom and let me do my thing. I was a regional brand ambassador before this. I was all over, and it feels good to have like a home base now and it be Southern California. That was a passion of mine because of the outdoor active lifestyle, etc. I got one of the best texts ever the other day after one of my events. That was one of the outside events, and they said, Nina, you're changing the game of the community locally, but also the game of like what brands can help do. And they were like, you're changing the Southern California mindset, that it doesn't have to just be this, that it can be all of these other things to really create that space. And that was one of the, I'm almost going to tear up. That was one of the best messages I could have gotten, where it makes me be like, wow, my job has purpose. Like, creating community marketing events means something. It really does. And any text message or the sustainable sips, I had so many text messages. I'm going to go back to my bar and I'm going to do some of the things we talked about and the things you guys taught us. And that makes it worth it. You know, it
does, man. When you feel like you're actually impacting people and you're not just a hamster on a wheel looking for sales and numbers and stuff, because that's kind of like, it's easy to fall into that. I mean, that is what we do as like, whether you're an ambassador or sales rep or bartender, like we are here to push sales and to make numbers and to make money. But like we do want to have like meaning in our life, in our jobs. Cause like, I don't know.
To me, that's how the real stuff gets done. Like, nobody wants to be pushed or encouraged to do something. Like, that has to happen organically. And that's what's so important about human interaction. Yeah. Even down to the sales reps. I think about, they have a system. All these distributors have systems where you can just punch in an order on your own, but they still have human bodies. And there's a reason behind that. Like, no person is going to care about a story or a brand just by clicking in their order at a computer.
Yeah.
Like, it's important to have human interaction. We just talked about this at the beginning of the podcast. We're losing that left and right in this world. And human events, human interaction, not a robot, not a computer. Like, let's fucking sit down and chat. Like, let's talk about this.
Yeah, the human interactions part is with all AI and stuff like that. I think that the brand and the storytelling is super fucking important. The social media stuff. It's really, there's so many pros and cons. I like the ability of social media that I can connect with so many people who aren't, and like work the businesses and stuff and tell your story.
Yeah.
The downs, obviously you and I will sit there, like we'll sit in our rooms and stare at our phones, and I'm so fucking guilty of it, and it's so unhealthy.
So guilty.
I feel like that's me, dude. I'm somebody who needs to, I have to get out more and interact with people.
Yeah.
I will just sit in my fucking 1-bedroom apartment and try to like, that's why, I got the dog, I got my 2 dogs, my beagle, and we go to OB Beach and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What do you think, man? Do you think that AI is going to, how do you think that's going to like affect the restaurant industry in terms of like, do you think it's going to hurt it, help it? Like, do you have any thoughts on that?
I have so many thoughts because I hate AI. I have so many thoughts because it's just is going in a way for me personally of everything I resent. My ultimate dream is to like live in a commune with people and like trade food and like live on the land, like
you can find,
like, so to me, I can't resonate with AI. I saw somebody the other day got a massage, an AI massage. So now it's not a human giving you the massage, it's the robot. And
that scares me for like bartenders. Like, I know it's kind of funny to think about.
Like the robots making the drinks. The thing with that is
though, like guys aren't going to go out to bars because they want to fuck the robot. You know what I mean? So like, there's my one last hope of us having like, jobs.
I don't know. Like I go to a bar to shoot the shit.
Yeah.
I want the bartender to tell me what to try. I want the bartender to tell me the story of the spirit behind the bar. I want the bartender that if I'm going in alone and I've had a freaking bad day, to say what's up. Like part of this, like I always think of hairdressers, almost any beautician, any barber, even like flight attendants, etc. You see somebody down, and this is the same for a bartender. Like human interaction, brother. Like somebody's needing something, and they've had a bad day. They don't have family or friends. They just got fired. What is the famous movie scene? Them going to sit at a bar. Yeah. I don't want to freaking talk to a robot.
Seriously, I know.
And he's also putting an awful carbon footprint on our planet.
Are robots going to get so good that like that's the funny thing to talk about is like with the whole thing going? I don't think so. I hope not. No, I don't think so.
Like it's just, I can hope for the best. And
people,
even me, I take photography. That's my passion. And I have a lot of photographer friends. And right now it's trash. You can not always trash, but you can see AI differences. Oh my God, my friend the other day, my friend who's an influencer, a drinks influencer, ironically, he posted a AI image on a company. I'm not going to say the company, a very known credit card company. I'll say that much. We probably all own one of their cards or somebody in the room. Posted an AI image thinking that nothing would be anything. And it's a girl with a credit card and a swipe. And he goes, he's a photographer as well. So he calls it out and he's like, notice anything about this picture? You zoom in and her eye, I'm sorry, Mom, was a butthole.
You can swear on here, by the way.
I've been like monitoring my sailor's mouth some. But yeah, and obviously it's going to get better. But he was like, this very known company didn't even zoom in.
What kind of butthole are we talking about here? Are we talking a big one? Are we talking a clean one? Are we talking...
Thankfully clean and okay. But I'm just like,
That's
there's
pretty
going to
funny.
be mistakes. Like, I don't care how
That
good
doesn't
it
sound
gets.
like a mistake. That sounds like somebody put a butthole as somebody's eye.
I
Which
think
I think is
AI
very
did it.
funny.
AI did it.
AI is getting a
It's
sense of laughter. And
It's an
like,
AI image. And no matter how good AI gets, I mean, I think about it right
what
now.
is this on Instagram? Can we look up? I got it.
It's gone now.
It's
This was
gone?
like a month or two ago. This was on my friend's
AI.
I don't know if
butthole
it's gonna
as
come
an eye.
up, but I can always you know what, if we can post the image, maybe
Yeah, that's what
like
I'm saying. If
post
you can find
editing.
it.
It was on my friend Holy City Handcraft. He's also talk about creative content. I deal with influencers a lot in my job, in just not monitoring. I don't have anything to monitor. Just looking at their posts, getting to know trends. That's part of my job, knowing what's trendy, what's trending. So I follow and know quite a bit of drink influencers. Lots of them are my friends. I'm lucky enough to know lots of them. And he is somebody that I've brought up several times to people when they want to know, oh, like, what's a content creator that you love? And he's somebody that's starting to get so personal with his content. It's not just shaking a cocktail, making a cocktail, saying the specs. He's actually putting history in his videos. He's coming up with creative ways. And I also love that he's integrating his passions. He has a passion for cars. Dude, his cars are so dope. We've had like great little conversations. And I just love that he's incorporating his passions, like cars, etc., and then also incorporating that into his daily life of influencing, and the way that he makes his videos are pretty unique too.
Yeah,
so.
I think we're moving towards this era where like you can be like honest and personal on social media. And like when I was growing up and I was in high school, they had a seminar that was like, careful what you put on Facebook, your jobs will see this. And like we're moving into this openness where you can be yourself.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that. Because you don't want to just be bland and like, I don't know, vanilla. It's like you got to put a little bit of spice and honesty.
Yeah.
And I think people connect with that.
Yeah.
We're moving away from the late night talk shows of like, you have 20 minutes. Here's this segment we're going to talk to, into like openness. And I'm really attracted to that.
Same.
In terms of those influencers that you're friends with, how do those people make money? Like, I obviously know of like sponsorships and stuff, but like, are those people making like $60,000 a year, $100,000 a year?
No, some of them are doing very well. I mean, social media, once again, we talk about the spirits industry and the drinks industry and the plethora of the world of unknown until you dive into it and knowing what all there is to offer. Social media is a whole nother realm of just a honeypot of you not knowing the reality of the opportunity. I mean, there is probably 3 major ways you can make money on social media. One is a brand partnership. That's one of the most simple ways. A brand partnership, aka I'm a drink influencer. A brand wants to promote their brand. I make a video. They pay me for that one video because they know the exposure that it's going to bring. Mm-hmm. So the second way is that you can have there's even another subcategory. I can get real nerdy with this because
you're very curious because people want to know how to make money in this industry.
And I used to do it somewhat. So the one, there's 3 simple ways and there's subcategories of each of these. When we're talking brand partnerships, like, hey, here's a lump sum of money. You're making a video, you're getting $2,000. Here's your $2,000. Then there's even partnerships that are longer standing, and they can be year, 2-year, 3-year contracts where you're a partner of that brand. And that's a whole nother contract type deal. And then it breaks down into more creative, less concrete ways. So the second way is affiliate marketing, and basically that's a brand either gives you a code, etc. You'd be surprised how much that can make. Or selling that also includes here's my TikTok shop, here's this shaker that I'm obsessed with, here's the link to that shaker, and you're getting a lump sum of that money every
Yeah.
time somebody purchases. So if you have even 100,000 followers and your people are buying stuff, even me, I have the smallest amount of
You're
followers.
what, like 20,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And mind you, I was way more active. I actually had it as a form of income once upon a time. I'm sadly much too busy, and my engagement has definitely thus fallen, but I do manage 2 other social media things as like a passion project, but that's later in the conversation. It's one of those things that you would be surprised, like part of COVID, social media money and things helped me stay afloat during being furloughed, etc. At that point you can even make your own, say you're known enough, you make your own brand, you sell t-shirts, even that. But affiliate marketing, you would be surprised. I currently just have an Amazon link. I haven't even updated it in too long. I need to go update it, of just things that I've liked off of Amazon. Another passion of mine is I love being a little swaggy.
Okay.
I love fashion. I like wearing cool clothes, cool shoes, etc.
We're in Southern California. That's right. Yep,
Yeah,
you got to.
represent.
I like those jeans. Where'd you get those? Where are those from?
These are actually PacSun, my guy.
Wow, nice. Very nice.
So that's like another little passion of mine. And all I do is post. I post my Amazon affiliate link, and I just have a list of everything, and I'm on the Amazon influencer program, like whatever. And I get a decent amount of money a month just from that. Like,
wow.
And if I actually put some care into it and continued to grow my personal social media, right now my brain isn't on personal brand. Like my brain is on creating
Proxima. Yep.
Well, not even like Proximo. Yes, of course, that's my job, but also, my passion projects of other things as well. And making other people or other businesses social media grow as well.
What do you want? What are some of these passion projects you want to do?
Well, I'm big, like I said, I'm really trying to get back into social media content.
Okay.
I used to just have photos, etc. I'm actually really trying to, right now I'm in the thought process more than creating. I'm in the building process of really wanting to think of something people haven't done on social media yet, or videos, reels, photos that are at least a little different to start off with from what we're seeing. So I'm trying to create some ideas and think of like cool ways to make videos, but my passion projects are photography. I love health and wellness. I love surfing. I love fitness. So trying to start to create some content that integrates that as well. I've been taking surf photography and selling my prints just for fun here and there, for a very long time.
So for you to if you wanted to do that full time, what is it going to take for you to go from what you're doing now with a job to being if that's what you wanted to do, full time, making an income and making a good, decent income at the content creation?
I mean, that takes a lot, unfortunately, a lot of time. I think in that situation, you kind of just have to, my path isn't really there.
Okay.
Once again, my side project, 100%. My passion project, 100%. To do something like that, you got to go all in.
Yeah.
You have to go 110% in. Like, those people have to almost quit their jobs. And, I'll always have my passion projects as photography, as social media creation, so on and so forth. When you want to dive in, you unfortunately have to save a little cushion, do whatever that looks like, and you kind of just have to
literally
completely
spend
dive
like
in.
40, 50, 60 hours a week doing that stuff. Yeah. Because it's
Anybody
time.
I've seen successful, they just they got the balls to go all in.
It's tough to balance. It's tough to make that transition.
Yeah.
And to balance that. I would love to do that with this podcast platform.
Yeah.
But when you're working a 40 to 50 hour, mentally stressful job a week, and then to try to pull these when you're getting home at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's people do it. And it's I got to just gain the energy and the fucking like, just like, I don't know. It's like, it might take a couple of years.
It's time consuming. I'm actually in the middle of a mindset shift change right now. I'm on this path, almost like a war path. That sounds so aggressive. But I was listening, ironically, to this podcast last week while I was going on my 2-mile walk, which once again, forced time for. And in that podcast, he said, whether it is a job goal, a passion project, a family goal of finding your person, whether it's a fitness goal of reaching your full fitness potential. He said a quote that has been living in my mind for the past 2 weeks. I've repeated this silly quote over and over again. He said, no matter what you're trying to reach, a version or a part of you has to die. Die. That sounds so dramatic. For the other part of you to have space to live. And I have replayed that quote in my head because at first I'm like, that's aggressive. And when you think about it, you are you. You have this space within you. You only have so much space. If you're not cutting off a part of you that's holding you back or cutting off a part of you that's not that, there's not space. He made an example in the fitness world of you want to lose 5 pounds. You do something so aggressively, you lose 5 pounds, but you don't completely actually change that and create space in yourself. You're going to gain that 5 pounds right back again. So he's like, unless you permanently kill off that part of you, whatever part that is, there's not space for the new part.
Yeah, when you say that, I think about myself. Like if I really wanted to try to create this like marketing media platform, this podcast, and really grow it, like I'm thinking of what I would have to do, and it's like part of me, I'm on the cusp of like giving up alcohol.
Yeah,
because like it really is fucking detrimental to my life.
Yeah,
but it's really challenging to do that.
Yeah, of course, dude. I'm in the thick of it right now. I'm going into week 3 of 10 of non-drinking, so I mean, I get it. But this is like the reason I did Hard 75 was to challenge myself and to like have that hard boundary.
Yeah.
To just, and I'm not saying I'm going back to drinking spirits. Let me be very clear.
I'm fucking cutting that shit out. I'm taking
not
a break.
I'm not freaking quitting. But sometimes to achieve certain things, you have to create those boundaries. Yeah. And in order to create a new routine, you have to change something massively. It's just the truth. So I'm going to drink and continue to drink for social occasions, great occasions, amazing occasions. And it can be done. Like, it's okay. Like, I know plenty of people, but in order to get out of a certain pattern, you have to mentally challenge yourself, and you almost have to press that reset. Whatever that reset is for you is up to you. Yeah. I'm, no expert by any means, but have I prided myself in being healthy and still staying in this industry and still being passionate about spirits and still telling a story and still thinking that spirits are great. Like, I'm not villainizing anything.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of knowing that there's space and knowing what your button to make that change is and do it. And then the big change, like right now I'm doing Hard 75. I'm not living in Hard 75. I'm going to go back to somewhat, but I'll never go back to where I started. I will never go back to where I started. And that's what's great about mentally challenging yourself is once that switch has gone off, even if you make it 50, 60% of the way, you're not going back to zero.
What do you think? I love that. What do you think from where you started to like what you're trying to accomplish? Like, what are you trying to get out of set? Why did you do that? Why did you set Hard 75?
Like, I want to mentally challenge myself. I say it again, like I'm on this weird mental internal war path that I personally don't think I've ever fully experienced until recently. I've always played sports. I've always been competitive. I've always cared about wellness. I've always worked out in some capacity. I've been through ebbs and flows. I went through a yogi phase. I went through, a weightlifting phase. I went through a community sports phase. For me personally, once again, I am passionate about spirits. I am passionate about the community. I am passionate about all of the things that are involved in it. I want to prove to myself and to other people that it doesn't have to also be one or the other. I think that's also one of my biggest pet peeves right now is in the industry, in the world. It's so like one side or the other. So we have like some fitness influencers that are like, don't drink alcohol ever, sprint 100 miles a week, like, and then we have these people that are just like crumbling and like, well, it's my job. I got to drink every day. I got to do this.
Yeah.
So my personal point is to be an advocate that both can coexist. To do that, I had to kind of be on like a restart. And for me, was some of it a mental challenge for just myself? Like for me, was it how fit can I get? How much can I push myself for 75 days? Yeah, like of course. But there's an overlying blanket of I don't want it to be left or right like everything is right now. And I don't mean that. I mean politically as well. But there is a place where things can coexist, and I want to go to an extreme to then find that pretty middle ground and advocate for it and help people through it. The amount of messages I've gotten is incredibly magical and makes me be like, wow, I don't post on social media for just no reason. All the way from work to Hard 75 for both things. I post the events. I post some stories of things that we've done, and people are like, thank you for the community. Thank you for the events. Thank you for this. And then beyond that, I post my health and wellness, and I used to like separate them so much.
Yeah.
I used to not really, I was almost like a secret, like a closeted working outer, because I thought that it would interpret that I wasn't supporting my job or supporting me thinking that you can have fun.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like secretive about it. And I started to coincide those things. And the people messaging me like, hey, you know what? I love drinking. And to see you being able to be in the industry like a brand face and doing Hard 75 encourages me to know that I can too. And that it doesn't mean that I'm not supporting my bar. It doesn't mean I'm not supporting this. Like I can eventually do both.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I think it's really important.
I don't want to turn into the guy who just like dives into the grounds because of this industry.
Yeah.
And I know people who have come out here from the East Coast, torn up, and their asses back in fucking Boston. And
Boston.
I have been out here for 3.5 years, and if you don't focus on these things, it can tear you. This industry will fucking chew you up.
It's burnout.
It's like the strong survive.
Burnout is so real.
Then
what are you giving to anyone if you're burnt
You're
out?
dead. You die.
You know, like I've seen so many brand ambassadors just go fully into this lifestyle, and they're almost like dead inside. They're almost like
you see it. Yeah, you see it in people's eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. To get the spark back, you got to go back to square one every now and again.
So at Stout Public House, it's like kind of like an old school spot where like Mark, Dave, Adrian, they're the full time there.
Yeah.
And they're in their like mid to late 50s, and they've been doing this for as long as I've been alive. And I work with these guys, and people don't, they don't. People forget Mark was like a competitive cyclist for fucking years. Dave plays on a men's hockey league and like works out, and like Adrian played soccer growing up his whole life. And it's like, if you want to have longevity in this career, you have to take care of your body and you have to take care of your minds.
Yeah.
And they'll sit down and have a beer after their shifts, and a couple beers sometimes.
Of course.
But like if you think you're going to be the bartender who starts his shift off with a shot, does multiple shots, ends his shift with a shot for like years and decades to come, like
it's gonna catch up.
Yeah, the reality just fucking kills us.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like you're fucking crushing it. And that's awesome that you're like self-aware of all this stuff, because it took me a while to become self-aware of these things. And I meet people, and like I can never tell people this. Like I can't tell my it sucks. I'm in that. I was talking to somebody about AA the other day who had been through AA, and he's like, you can't tell people to go to AA. They have to
have to want it.
They have to like see it for themselves, but it's tough when you're around people who who can't see that.
Yeah.
And like that was me for a while. So like I want to create this like place where I can be kind and honest with people, but like telling somebody, yo, dude, I think you should slow down, or I think you should look for help. It goes, I don't know. It's tough. It's challenging.
It's a hard line. And once again, I want to do amazing at my job. You want to
see these people win. You want to see people succeed. I don't want to see people fucking like give these people the keys to their downfall.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Me and Taylor, say that frequently. Once again, my coworker, we say the best part of our job is that we want to support people succeeding. Like we want to see people win.
Yeah.
And we get to be advocates for that. Like we get to give tools to people to continue to like grow in the industry. And our biggest thing is that we love to help people, whether that's with their passion projects or goals, or, you know, even some people come to us with ideas of doing pop-ups. Like we're here to help you guys win, like whatever that entails, whether it's you need to chat it out and have a good community, whether it's you have this cool idea, like I want to support it. I freaking love being a cheerleader. Like let me be your cheerleader.
Yeah, it's the energy. I feel like I can't be neutral. I either have to be like positive and like be optimistic and be kind and giving, or I'm just like a total fucking asshole and I'm telling people to fuck off, and I like am jealous and envious, and like and your energy is very important.
It's so funny you say the jealous thing, because I just read a thing that was like if something triggers you or you get so angry about something, it's because you're
lacking that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I've started to call myself out about that. Like I heard that saying like maybe about a year ago, and I've just become a lot more self-aware about a lot of things. And now when I hear that saying, I replay it quite frequently. If I get triggered by something, I'm like,
gotta take a look at yourself.
What am I missing that's triggering me so bad? So bad.
Yeah. I'll say this though. Yeah. There's a balance between like coming out and voice. It's tough because like I want to promote growth in myself and in others, but like I don't really talk about it at work because people don't want to. I've learned that other people who aren't on my path don't want to fucking hear that shit.
That is the most real thing. Right now in life, I notice there's the supporters. I don't like this word. Once again, I'm using a lot of words I don't like. And there's haters. The haters are always the people who don't want to put in the work that you're currently putting in. And it's really sad.
I don't know. I don't know. Just want to give say people are haters. I think not the whole wellness isn't for everybody.
Yeah.
And if you
and that's okay. That's okay.
I don't think I'm like, I think there's this like, I've talked about this a little bit, but like, I'm not trying to be an elitist.
No.
I'm trying to just like better my life. Because
that's not going to do anything.
Right. Because I think that like, if you're not happy with something, you should look to improve that. You can look to improve that.
But people don't want to talk about it. And that's the reality if they don't want to do it. And once again, it does not matter if they want to do it or not. That is the main point, is that I am me, you are you, they are them.
Yeah.
Nobody has to want to be on the same path. Like I even have some people who try to inspire me or convince me that their path of whatever that is the best path. And I'm never, I only want to help people in the sense of if they want me to be with them and give them that community. I'm not going to sit here and say anyone needs to do what I need to do. This is for me and my path. I just was talking about this with a friend and they were like, Nina, I'm just telling you this because I was in this spot that you were in and now I'm in this spot. And I just like want you to know that this is the path. And I said, like, I love you. I respect you. But my path and your path to get there are not the same.
they were trying to say, I failed at doing what you were doing, so you may fail too.
Yeah, and he said like eventually he succeeded, but he had to do X, Y, and Z, so I should do X, Y, and Z.
It's like a controlling thing-ish almost. You kind of,
And I just have to say, like, everybody's path to get there is going to be different. Everybody's path is good. Just like I think about relationships, like romantically, friendship, no relationship is the same and no relationship will be exactly the same. And so it's very important to know that everybody is different and everybody's brain is different. Everybody's past is different. Everybody's future is different. How they get to A to B doesn't matter. But if they're asking, how did you get to B? How can I do that? Then I chime in.
Yeah. And I think it's good to connect and promote. That's why I asked you to come on today, because I see what you're doing and where you're trying to go in the direction. And it's like, we should be having these conversations on how we can each better our lives and grow in these industries professionally, mentally, physically, creatively. There's so many different things.
Dude, creativity, create. I just want to say that a million times.
With the whole creativity thing, I find the social media, I'm an introvert. I work in an extroverted environment as a bartender, and I'm a quiet person. It's really tough for me to get on my phone and make selfie videos and shit like that.
Yeah.
Because the part of my brain goes, dude, you're a private person. Nobody really gives a fuck what you're posting. Why are you doing this? It's so awkward. It's hard for me to do that.
I just am going to chime in really quick to help you in something I saw, because I have to remember this. Once again, I do own a very small social media agency where I manage 2 to 3 brands, their social medias. I listen to a lot of things on this, and I try to tell myself that because I'm trying to help, other brands build their brand, like whether it's an athletic brand, etc., whatever. I listened to a podcast that basically said, do yourself a favor. And if you think nobody gives a shit about what you're posting, go to any creator that you love. Some of them delete them, hide them, etc. But somebody especially that might recently have popped off. I've done this. I've followed so many creators from maybe 8, 9, 10,000. And now I see them have 100,000, 200,000, etc. Scroll back to their first video. And it is so helpful.
Yeah.
It is so, you will see maybe 1,000 views, if even that. You will see their content has massively changed. They have perfected. They have made better content. They've gotten better equipment, all of the things. But you can watch, if they keep their videos up, you can almost watch the direct building. And you can say, like, even their first video, the crazy thing is you'll like, it's okay. Then you go to the middle.
Oftentimes bad.
Yeah. Then you go to the middle and you're like, oh, I'm interested. I'm watching. And you can see how they intricately change things.
Yeah. You can see them change. I did that with Theo Vaughn recently.
Yep.
This past weekend, he's one of the biggest. I saw him live in Oceanside a month ago. And I went back and I looked at his first, because I'm like, I'm a guy in an apartment. How do I do a solo video? And it's like, let's go back. And it was like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And he was in some Uber driver and he just like recorded. And it's so awkward. And it's like, we have to like work. It's like the ability to succeed is working through those uncomfortable stages.
You have to kill your ego.
Yeah, seriously. It's like, I'm reading. Okay, you would really like this book. It's by a creator named Amy McNee. We Need Your Art. Stop messing around and make something. And it's all about, she like coaches creativity. And I'm at the part in the book where it's about like being cringeworthy and putting fucking cringeworthy art out. And like, that's what the professionals know how to do, and they've perfected that shit.
Yeah.
And like, I'm a big fan. I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Naturally.
Yeah. Like, I'm a big fan of the craft, but like Stephen Bartlett, Diary of a CEO, like what I do is like, I watch how he markets his shit. Like, what he'll do is he'll take this little format where he takes 2 photos of the guy and he'll put quotes and he'll do like slides. And I copied his exact format with my podcast, and it gets like no fucking viewership. But in my mind, I say, oh my gosh, nobody really gives a fuck. People think I'm cringeworthy and stupid. But I tell myself, no, dude, this is what the pros do. Just because you're not getting any views don't think negatively about yourself. Like I have to tell myself, don't focus on the views, don't focus on the views, don't focus on the views, focus on the work. And it's like the repeat of the work over time is what leads to success.
Consistency with anything,
Yeah.
eating right, working out. You're not going to get it overnight.
Yeah.
Like,
it takes fucking years, dude. It takes years.
Consistency.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've turned into such this like last year or two of my life, just me and my mom call him. I said one day she was trying to give me advice and I was getting annoyed because I just wanted to talk it out. I didn't want advice, like some written on the wall, live, laugh, love bullshit. And I go, Mom, stop trying to give me Buddha plaques. And she died laughing. She said, a fucking Buddha plaque. I've never thought of that. And I'm like, it's the Buddha plaque on the wall. And sometimes I find myself the last year or two when I'm really transitioning in my life, like saying these silly like Buddha plaques to myself, like your ego has to die and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but it's true.
Yep.
Like I literally see these, I follow social media people very closely in their journeys, etc. And I even help in a lot of ways, finding different creators, etc. So I do some research and I'm like, dang, and I need to create cooler shit myself. That's a whole nother thing. But I look at these guys and they're like, dude, I was posting a gym video, freaking just doing a lat pull down at like 1 a.m. and nobody gave a shit. And now I'm a Gymshark athlete.
Yeah.
Like once again, you can't know what people want to consume unless you start experimenting and then you start perfecting.
There's this narcissistic aspect of it, which I just talked about. But like, dude, this is a business. It's not just a diary entry. It's like we are now in the social media era where we are our own brands and the little guy has the power,
has the opportunity. Like,
and like, I try to tell myself that shit, dude, because it's real.
I mean, there's a lot of pros and cons to social media, to everything we've gone to. I've just tried to teach myself to start looking more at the pros and try to kill the cons, down to simple things like the algorithm of your phone. Like I was going down this bad like route of certain things, you know, me liking or interacting or watching the full video. The second you watch a full video, Instagram, TikTok thinks that that's all you want to see. So the algorithm, you can switch your algorithm in 2 days easily. And so I started to consciously be like, if I'm going to be wasting time on social media, what content do I want to be consuming? I want to be consuming things that make me more motivated. I want to be consuming things that inspire me to create. I want to
I like that,
I do want a family and I've spent a lot of time on my career, like a lot of time. So what's going to inspire me to think more about family? I want to consume more family oriented things. I mean, you just have to engage and search and look for the right things. And all of a sudden your For You page is inspirational and not detrimental. Like
as we're saying this, I think there's a train of thought where you could sit here and be like, yo, those two people are so addicted to their phones and social media. It's unhealthy. What I would say to that is it is this new age we're in and it is unhealthy, but it's also like, the things that we do put in front of our face are fucking really important. So if we're going to be doing that, let's put some positive things about growth that can maybe improve our lives.
Yeah.
As opposed to the junk stuff that you see, which is just like dumb. I don't even know how to explain the dumb things we see on social media. Like the challenges or the dances or like watching people. Like, why don't we, if we are in this digital world that's only fucking amplifying and getting way worse, let's learn
into
from
it in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way, and like try to put out like this whole podcast, what we're doing, the abilities because of social media. And it's like, let's try to make people think, or let's consume things that make us think and grow.
I'm like so overwhelmed with like 3 different things I want to say on this subject, just because it's such a big thing to me. One thing is, I once again, I'm listening to a lot of different things and consuming different things. Create more than consume.
Yep.
So consume enough to inspire you to create. I don't think that social media is the devil. Do I think there's bad aspects of everybody having whoever they want at their fingertips? That's a blessing and a curse. Let's be real. But consume enough to make you want to go create, whether that's videos, whether it's going to go camp with your family and friends, whether it's to go make a fucking great recipe, whether it's to create a badass cocktail for your bar. I don't care what it is. Consume enough that you want to get off your fucking couch and go create. 2 is, I don't think that social media is like us. I create a limit now on my phone that warns me to get off at a certain time, and I think that's very important. Do I think it's some new age thing that we're in consumerism? No offense, in the 60s and 70s, dads were sitting on their couch watching TV sitcoms for 3-4 hours at the end of work. I think social media is more helpful than that.
You don't think there's anything bad? You don't think social media is bad for people's brains?
Oh, I think it's bad.
Oh, okay.
But I'm saying, is it a sitcom with nothing that you're learning from? No, at least.
I guess it's like what type of, what you're consuming. Yeah, what you're consuming.
Once again, that's the big point to me is to create your social media to at least hopefully help and learn.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to fucking do.
To me, that's more helpful than a sitcom. You know, so I do think there's pros and cons. There's a lot of cons, but I think you have the ability to try to alter that. And I think it's better that way to look at something that's going to help you know how to fix something in your house, or go to a really cool camping spot, or to make an awesome cocktail or meal. And I think that's like really important. I like poets. You see a lot of poets on Instagram. Yeah.
Like I found this dude, and like I buy their books, dude. It's like I found this guy, Darby Hudson. There's a book called "You're Going to Be Okay Because You're Fucked No Matter What," and it's all about poetry, dude. He's like one of my favorite authors, and they're little short books. Like I just open up to the one page. Sometimes taking a risk isn't really taking a risk. You either do the thing, or a massive part of you dies inside.
Well,
yeah, it's like what.
Wow.
That's so weird. Like I planned that.
Universe.
Eventually, you'll discover that making the same mistake over and over is the right thing to do if you wait long enough. I kind of butchered that one, but that's okay.
That's okay.
I miss the years when we marked. Oh my god, why can't I fucking read all of a sudden? I miss when the years were marked out in colors and scents, and animals and insects, not numbers.
Wow.
It's just a cool book. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like what I'm trying to say is I connect with like meaningful poets and like creators on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then look, it's led to me spending money on them.
Yep.
In a positive way.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, I follow a poet too that's, you know, pretty inspirational and makes you feel like I want to feel something. Isaiah something. I need to look him up. He creates very relatable things, and I'm going to quote I'm going to say his name, and then I'm going to quote something that you and I talked about right before this. Isaiah Quinn poetry. And he has very relatable, real, raw things. And it makes me think of, and I took a screenshot of my old coworker posting, and I'm going to read this part that I think is very important in this day and time, but to directly quote what he said: "Sometimes I feel like 2020 cracked the world open, spilled out, and everything that spilled never went back to the same. The days blur, the years fly, yet drag, and the ground beneath us has never felt steady since. What once felt familiar now feels like a memory from a completely different lifetime." And ever since COVID, ever since 2020, our industry, the world, our daily lives there's a shift, and I don't think we're ever going to get to go completely back. What's done to this point, can we shift things? Can we change? But we can't fight it. And I miss some of that old ways, and I think we can still get them back, but it's about learning how to tweak what you currently have, the situation you currently have. How can I still get some of those old ways in some way, shape, or form? But also, how can I correctly form into the future, which hopefully is not AI, but that's also too late.
I mean, you have to evolve, and the restaurant industry and business has always evolved. I think we're seeing it at a rapid pace now. Maybe we didn't see so beforehand, but just like the restaurant industry, evolved with fast food and like getting your food out to you as fast. And then it went into entertainment. And now it's like the throwback to cocktail bars and now social media. And it's like the crazy levels that these restaurants are going to entertain us and to get us Instagrammable bars. So I don't think it's like a new thing. Yeah, it is. COVID definitely fucked everything up. We've lost the lunch crowd because nobody goes out to the offices anymore. Like this, it's affected the whole industry. I mean, you got to remember, we're recording this in October 1st, a 25-year staple in Old Town, Fred's, closed down yesterday or 2 days ago or whenever it was. So it's like, you do have to evolve or get left behind. And, it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
And you got to be pliable and sort of, have the ability to, if you're rigid, I think you're going to get left behind, And
it's sad. I was just talking, and correct me, I'm so sorry if these facts that I'm about to say aren't correct. But I was just talking with the manager, operating manager over at Gillies, and he made such like a good point the other day. And I said to him, I said, yo, I love what you guys are doing on social media lately. Like they're doing cute little promotions for their emo nights, and they're doing like little pool videos and funny photo shoots with their bartenders. And I look at it and it makes me want to go to Gillies naturally. And so I was talking with him and I said, like, Eli, like, I love what you're doing lately. And he said, you know what? We actually hired a social media manager. And I said, that's awesome. Like, it's crazy that we're in the times that like a little dive bar probably pretty much needs it. And I said, she's doing great. Like, tell her good job, whatever. And he said, you want to know the ironic thing is that the pizza place was falling somewhat next door. And they asked us about our social media, and they hired her, and they said, like, now they have a line.
Oh, wow.
And so if that's not the exact example of adapt in some way, you can adapt in your own unique way. To me, one of the things I hate the most about, I keep saying hate so much, the thing I dislike so much about social media is that all of a sudden everything feels like it's getting to be too much the same. Like, oh, here's this cool cocktail, and then this other cocktail looks just like it, and then every place has, like, one place thinks of girl dinner and it's such a good idea. Like, hell yeah. Like, good for...
They copy each other.
Yeah, good for Nolita Hall or whatever, for whoever made the girl dinner. But now everybody thinks they need to do a girl dinner. So I want the creativity without the copying.
You see a lot of that. You see bars doing the same little skit and same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
It just happens. It's trends. It's
trends. It's trends with, I mean, that's everything, you know, business and restaurants and like companies will do that shit too.
Yeah.
I want to talk some shit on social media, about social media for a second. Mm-hmm. One thing I am not a fan of is when I see the long history dive bar. Okay. I see great bars, which are like a dive bar, and they'll have some fancy influencer come in and do like a fucking video that is like, that customer does not drink at that bar.
Yeah.
And they're this like, oh, we went to so-and-so and we did this and you should come here. And like,
that's not the clientele.
That's not the client. And I'm not shitting on either one, but it's kind of like when you do work in the industry and you see these like
inauthentic
influencers go into these places with a lot of culture. And I don't know, I guess maybe you just see through it a little bit.
Yeah. I am one of those people that I'm so marketing brain to a fault sometimes. So sometimes I look at that and I'm like, well, that helped a business.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You're right. You're so right. Yep.
And it sounds so silly. What's that beanery place in LA? Barney's Beanery. Oh God, it's a classic in LA. Anyways, I guess Taylor Swift just naturally went there, and now the bar like can't keep up. And I'm just like, and she naturally went there. Like it wasn't a paid thing. It's a classic bar. It's been around for quite some time in LA. and I love it. It's like it was like a dive type place, and now they just can't keep up. But I'm like, good for them. Like, if it helps their business, so be it. Sorry for the locals who
that's what I'm
now
saying.
Don't get
That's
their
what
bar
I'm talking
seat.
about. Yeah, you could change the culture with that. But hold on, here's what I'm saying. Like, I work at Stout Public House, and it is so not social media. It's so those customers don't want fucking cameras there.
No,
and
we need to keep. I mean, think of travel, like all these travel places blowing up.
Yeah. Oh, wasn't there like protests down in South America because of the Airbnb, because they were driving out all the locals or something like that?
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Did you hear
it's like
something
keep
about that?
space
But
for.
it is interesting. Like, there is a downside to this where, I think what it is like the culture of some of these long-standing great establishments.
Yeah.
Don't want these
That
little fucking 23-year-olds walking in with their gimbals and their fucking... I was at a bar and a pack of 15, 24-year-olds walked in with their cool, trendy haircuts and with a gimbal, and they were recording content, and we just like stopped and looked at them like, you are in the wrong fucking building. It wasn't the bar that I work out.
Yeah.
It's like there is... I gotta be honest and talk. Like, there's that happens.
Yeah.
That... I don't know. I'll say this.
There's an angel and a devil of every side.
It is good for business.
Yeah.
With Guinness, with the whole splitting the G marketing platform, I'll say this. People that coming in,
and
younger
they're
kids.
splitting the G.
And they're saying, oh, so split the G. Like, those are kids that probably wouldn't have come here. But like, for example... One battle after another with the new movie with Leonardo DiCaprio that just came out. They're doing their rounds.
Mm-hmm.
They filmed a scene of that in Stout Public House.
No way.
And San Diego Tribune wrote an article, and they put our photo on the main page.
Yeah.
Got like 5,000 likes, hundreds of comments, and people are coming in saying, oh, wow, we heard Leo was here. So it's like, it does fucking work.
It works.
But it's like,
It works.
And at the end of the day, it's a business. It's a for-profit. We are not a non-profit. You don't open a bar because of that.
To give away
it's like,
money.
Yeah, you give a bar to make money and stuff.
Do you want the bar to keep its identity and authenticity? Yes. But you also want that bar to be open in 5 more years.
That's true.
Yeah,
it's very true. It's a balance.
So it's trying to find that balance.
And I don't think I have the answer to that.
I wish I...
I don't think I could sit here and be like, but it's I guess I got to give shout out and respect to the people who have spent decades in this establishment and who look at this new social media trends and be like, you guys are fucking idiots.
Yeah.
I do hear those people and I respect that mindset.
I get it. Like the traditionality of anything, you can look at that in a billion different subjects.
Yeah.
You can look at that any which way you want. At the end of the day, if you really care about something, you want it to last.
Yeah. Yep.
And I truly believe you can still keep your identity and your unique concepts, but still know how to grow. Everything's ever evolving, or else you stay the same.
Yeah. I think that's why there are some great bars that do stay the same.
Yeah.
So in Ireland, I've never been to Ireland, but I work with
I just went with Bushmills, ironically.
Oh, really? What city did you go to?
We went to Dublin. We flew into Dublin, and then we were all over Northern Ireland. So
that's so cool. It's on my list. I think that the big part of what I've learned working in like a legit Irish pub in San Diego at Stout Public House with Mark Prendergast and Adrian and Dave and Eileen, these old school fucking people who are incredible to work with, is like the Irish culture is like, we don't fucking change for you. We are who we are. Dude. It's like principle over profit. Don't tell us what we need to do. We don't listen to you. We do what we know.
Going to Ireland.
Yeah. Did you experience
I saw that culture.
Yeah.
We were joking, like Northern Ireland, like they call them the fighting Irish for a reason. Like those people are in their ways in the best way. Like, talk about the most authentic.
That's what I'm saying.
Not give a fuck.
In a good way.
Yeah.
And
in
it's
the
like,
best way. Like, I was like, mad respect.
This industry is built off like grind, work ethic, humility, like hospitality. And that's where I just do see some of this new trendy shit is so opposite of that.
Yeah.
So I gotta just like, I don't want to, it's been hard for me to fully commit to the social media sales sort of inauthenticity stuff. I want to try to do this shit and remain authentic.
Oh, that is the most
You know?
important. Like, once again, my passion projects of managing some of these brands on social media, like I'm working ironically with some people I know that own a private island for rent, and that's one of the social medias that I run, and trying to get them to, I'm like, hey, like film this type of content, because I'm not there. I can't make the content, but I can manage everything. I can't do it all.
Yep.
And I'm like, hey, give me this type of thing, because we want to be able to relate. We don't want to just post stock photos of people posing on an island. That's not doing anything for anyone anymore.
Yep.
Nobody wants to see just like a cheersing of a cocktail or, you know, a Specs once again in a shake. But I also don't want some TikTok dancers dancing on the island. Like, so they just did a partnership with this like skydiver. Also, if you ever want a decently priced private island, shout out to East Sister Rock Island. Take 10 of your friends. But it's one of those things that like they did a partnership with a skydiver, skydiving onto their thing. And it's like, obviously you don't have to be that extravagant, but thinking of cool ways that are inspirational or get somebody's attention without posting a stupid TikTok dance. Like, sorry for anybody that does that.
No, I think
it's entertaining.
I've always been really attracted to documentaries. I
Oh,
watch a
I
lot of
love-
documentaries, and I try to, that's the energy I try to bring to this platform, is like a little bit more just like, I want to get to know you.
Yeah.
And sort of like, I think people are attracted to that.
Yeah.
They're attracted to realness and authenticity. What everything we've been talking about with social media is there. You do eventually. You ever go back in the 90s and look at some of those commercials and how like fake and phony they feel?
Oh yeah.
And it's like, I think that like they didn't feel that way back then. That was like what was normal.
Yeah.
And so I think that like in today, we're going to look back at today's era. We're like, oh, that marketing back then was kind of fucking weird.
Yeah.
You know, so like the closer you can get to being authentic without like being unprofessional, or I don't know, you want to save some of yourself for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and not give it all, and not sell your soul to the camera. But I have documentaries have always been a place that you talk about like feel something and have a passion for something. Like I've always appreciated those things. So that's like where I talk about like your creative sense or your, you know, what you want to get out of. That's where my creativity comes from, I think.
Yeah.
Authenticity.
You know? And I think it's very important for anyone who wants to build their own personal brand, their own personal space, to think, what are the 3 words that I want to embody for whatever it is, myself, my brand, my bar, my menu, my well-being. And I always think of like those 3 words, and it's very clear to me that one of yours would be authentic.
Yeah, it's important. I think it's really important.
Yeah.
So, okay. What do you think? Do you have any, what's some advice you have for women who are coming up in the industry? Maybe you're 19-year-old waitress, maybe you're a 26-year-old bar manager. Like, what do you got to say for those women?
The opportunities are endless, and the chances you get to meet the correct people 9 times out of 10 are infinite. My last 2 biggest catapults in my industry came from me working behind a bar. So ironically, my Atlanta Falcons job working for the NFL, 2 things: mindset and never knowing who you're talking to when you're in these situations. Mindset, I was determined. I got out of college and I said, I'm going to work for a professional sports team. And then everybody said, okay, cuckoo. You kind of got to be a little cuckoo to get what you want. I think the delusion somehow creates reality. I can't explain the universe. But I said, I want to work for an NFL team. I was working at a winery. I was doing a wine tasting at 21 years old. I had somebody come in, and every person, like, I genuinely like connection and conversation. And I just naturally was talking to this gentleman having great conversation, great personality, have the best, like even on your hard days, like you never know what kind of interaction somebody's looking for. And sometimes it'll even help you internally. And I ended up talking to this gentleman. He came in 2 or 3 times in the winery on vacation, ends up giving me my card saying like, you're amazing. Your personality's incredible. Send me your resume. I said, who are you? I Googled his name when he left, and he was the head strength and conditioning coach for the Atlanta Falcons. And 2 weeks later, I was working for the Atlanta Falcons.
You never fucking know.
You never know. So 3 things. I guess my 3 pinpoints. Be delusional. Unapologetically go after what you want. If you don't know what you want, spend time looking for that and talking to people that you see their lifestyle that you like and seeing how they got there. 2, if you're behind a bar, if you're wherever you are, don't treat it as I have to be here. Treat it as I get to be here.
That's so important.
And when you change that mindset, you're excited, you're talking. Dude, the time flies when you actually have a good time. Yeah. Like actually have a conversation. Like people come to a bar and they do want to know the story of you, or they do want to know the story about the tequila they're drinking. Or, I mean, not every person, but 9 times out of 10, like people want that. So just know that you never know who you're talking to. Create good interactions and good things will come. And the last thing I would say is, it loops back to the second part of my number 1 is see people that you think. I've had so many people reach out to me like, I love your job. I love what you do. It looks like you have such a passion. How can I do that? I have happily mentored so many people, and I'll happily mentor many more. That's one of my biggest passions in life, is helping people win and watching people go from one step to the next step to the freaking next step that they didn't even know was possible. So reach out to people, to community. People are willing to help. If you see people doing what you want to do, create that relationship with them. And they will likely help bring you up. I've helped several people get brand ambassador jobs. I've had several people get lead jobs. I've helped several people get marketing jobs. You have to be patient. It's not going to happen overnight. And specifically, like you and I just talked about it once again before this podcast, but one of my pillars of like lifting people up is women in the industry. I ironically just had a call with my boss this morning, and I said, sometimes I realize I'm the only woman in the Southern California team, and that's nor here nor there. It's been a thing in the industry for a very long time that whether it's marketing, sales, whatever, there's just a little bit less woman presence, and it has nothing to do with the brands themselves. Yeah. I think brands and people will happily hire women. Let's be real. Like in marketing, I think like we got some power there. I think it's actually a lot because I started doing this research. This was one of my biggest passions when I used to work for my brand prior to this, was women in the industry. And I'll never forget, we did a cocktail competition, and we had, to inspire people to enter this international cocktail competition. And I made it my goal to have more women competitors than men. I spent night and day trying to have that happen. I couldn't do it. Huh. And so I realized it's not these brands, it's not the people hiring, it's the confidence that women have to apply for the position, to go into the cocktail competition. They don't have that same, I hate to use the word cockiness, but I think it goes beyond confidence. It does. And so I had to start rewiring my brain that it has nothing to do with who's hiring or who's doing this. It has to do with the spirit of the person feeling confident enough to do so. So how can we start on that square one to get them to that next step?
Are you saying that you want to see women have more confidence and cockiness, and like, is that?
Yeah, I just want women to have the passion, or not. They have the passion to have the confidence to do it.
No, I agree.
So I started to ask myself, where does that start? Yeah. And so it's people like me. It's people like managers. It's people to give them that confidence to do it. So the next year when I did the cocktail competition and I led it, I said, okay, so it's clearly not the people looking for the people. It's the people entering, and how can I build them up? Yeah. So I started from that, and I started saying, how can we get women in this space to be like, I can do that.
Yeah.
And so I started, creating women workshops. I started being like, here's this event where we can build upon whatever that specialty is. And kind of going to the girls directly and being like, you're just as good as him, if not better. And I am a huge advocate, whether it's starting or ending, on like lifting women up in this industry, because it is a very male dominated industry.
We get treated very differently.
And it's one of those things that sometimes it's a bros club, depending on where it is. So I make it my personal journey to try to lift up women, to highlight women, to always have a woman in the room. Right now, one of my favorite local bartenders, she's already shining on her own. She's killing it. Liza Woodman, which was at Communion at my event, and making sure, she's shining. She's up and running now. So now I got to find the next, person that I could see really shining, but I've tried to exemplify her as much as I can in my speaking and cocktails events. Guest bartenders, you're going to always almost see me trying to specifically pick a woman to catapult.
That's awesome.
So.
She's a Massachusetts woman.
Yeah, she's a Boston gal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say that's one of my pillars of passion is women in the industry, especially coming from sports. I've chose 2 careers that are very male dominated.
And you're crushing them.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, dude. It's funny I called you dude, but anyways.
Oh, I'll call you dude.
It's good. You do, you have to have, whether you are a man or woman, that competitive, confident cockiness drive.
Mm-hmm.
This is a cutthroat industry, and whether to succeed, you have to say positive. You have to have that. It's a little bit of swag to you.
Yeah.
And
or delusion. I said, I think so many guys are delusional. I'm sorry. I'm a woman and guy lover.
But you have, and it's a good thing. You have to sit there and tell yourself, I am going to fucking succeed. I'm going to conquer this. And if I got to elbow somebody out of my way to get there, I'm going to fucking do it.
Yeah. And so that's I'm just like, yo, my homegirls, please come to me. I want to freaking hype you up. I'll say it a million times. I love being a cheerleader.
In terms of that stuff, I think I'm a competitive person.
Yeah.
What I do is I look at other people's brands, and I'm an honest, real person. I don't compare myself to other people, but I can sit there and look at other bartenders or other podcasts and be like, oh wow, that person's really good in this aspect. Mm-hmm. What I do is I look at other people and I look at where they are falling short, and I say that's where I'm going to try to improve my brands or myself.
Yeah,
because I can target.
You can
that.
take note.
Yeah,
you can take note.
Look, they're from an editing standpoint, from a conversational standpoint, from a guest standpoint. I'm like, oh, I can get an advantage on them.
Yeah.
You work with a coworker who's showing up late all the time, start showing up fucking on time, and that gets noticed real fast. Mm-hmm. You work with somebody who is lazy. Understand your work ethic will be understood by your regulars, by your managers. Oh, that person doesn't do that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That person has a bad attitude. These are things you can control.
Yeah.
You can't control a lot, how tall you are, where you grew up, what you look like, but you can control your work ethic, your attitude. You can control the food that you put in your body, the discipline you have, and you got to and if you want to be competitive and grow, these are things you should look at and focus.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. The other podcasters are doing it this way. I can fucking do it better than them.
Yeah.
And I absolutely do that. I think it's a good thing. Competitive competition is good.
Discipline and competition.
Yeah.
Those 2 things, you have a lot of things at your fingertips and sacrifice, which is part of discipline, in my opinion.
what other advice would you give to young men, women coming up in the industry who maybe haven't figured it out? Like your friend Eliza, she's crushing it. But like, what about people who are like struggling, like that don't have the showmanship or the knowledge? Like, how can these young women who maybe there's a girl who works at a hotel and she's not making any money right now and she's like trying to improve herself. Like, what are some foundational things that young women can improve on and grow or should focus on?
Yeah, I think it's massively important to find these, like even with me telling you to have you come to the communion event and me inviting you to that. Or I saw some people who have never been to like a big conference yet and they go to Desert Escape or Tales of a Cocktail or some of these larger things that they once again had no idea existed, and they come into this space and they see the opportunity. So one is network like a mother trucker. Like I can't say that enough. Networking and speaking to, once again, guests, where you're actually having an interaction and you're not just dropping something off and walking away. So I can't even begin to say how much of my career has developed from just communication. Like I was a server, I was a bartender, I was a this. And the funny thing is like my college education is that what helped on my resume, but that's not what got me any of these jobs. My brand ambassador job for Illegal came because I was speaking to the right people behind the bar and I knew people in the industry. And it's just really important to always be aware, and to kind of know that that's not it, to knowing in your brain that doesn't have to be it. Like you have to tell yourself like, what little aspects can I do to change this? And that has to be step one. Like same thing of anything, you have to want the change. And then it's seeking out what that change is. So now it's like, do you want to change? Now, what direction do I go in? And kind of experimenting, whether it's showing up at events, shaking hands. You know.
I want to say something about the whole networking thing. It's fucking tough for me because it feels like, you heard me talk about authenticity, like mingling and doing the fucking.
But it doesn't have to be like that.
Like,
it doesn't have to be like
But
that.
when I came to your events and like there's all these people in a room and it's like we all just got here and like it feels so awkward.
The beginning is always awkward.
Like,
even for me, think about like I'm like, are people gonna show up to my event? Like,
so true. But I guess you have the control of like, yo, this is my event.
Yeah.
Like I am here to like,
and I'm like hosting, and I'm
like, I can do that. Like I fucking run the bar.
Oh, you think you can't? No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
I mean, but like when I'm at work, I can walk up to any table or any person because like I'm in charge.
Yeah.
You know, like that's totally.
It's very easy for me.
Showing up to a cocktail hour and being like, "Hey, Bob, how are the fucking kids?" Like, that's fucking so awkward.
I think that it's like definitely not focusing on that in the sense of like, I guess I forget what it's like to be, but I've been to plenty of events where I'm not, you know, I go to a lot of these things that aren't led by me or my brands or, you know, me once again, like I'm starting to go to wellness events. Like I'm the participator of these like ice bath events and shit like that. So I get it. But after 2-3 ice bath events, I know my homies there already. You know, like I'm starting to integrate myself, and you have to get through that awkwardness because there's going to be a time where like so many of my friends in the industry like walk into a room now and they're known, they're lead bartenders, but they don't have to worry about networking because now they're known. And that little bit of awkwardness you have to break through. You have to like, you're going to be there.
Yeah.
I was there when I was starting out as a brand ambassador, even as the leader of the event. And you kind of just have to keep, like, it sounds silly, you have to keep at it, but also like get your mentors, dude. Like I believe so hardcore in having 1 to 2 people, you don't need a lot, helping guide you. And it's going to take a second to find that, but you have to put yourself out there. And even just like, once again, you have to know kind of what you want in the next step. But if you're bartending, I was always very vocal about next steps I want. Even when I was a bartender, I was talking to people about wanting to be a manager. And then I was a manager. And when I was a manager, I started talking.
Put your words out to the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to just like, if you're serving and you don't want to serve anymore, say your next step is you want to be a lead bartender.
Yeah.
Then fucking say, hey, I need somebody to teach me how to bartend. I want to do that. Or, hey, I want to manage. And if that place doesn't go and let you do it, go to the next, dude. Like,
it's about talking to people. You're networking, right? Like what people will do at our bar, they'll come out. Like what I tell people to do is, the guys I work with have been doing this for 3.5+ decades. Come to our bar, say, hey, I want to take the next step. What do you think I should do? A good bartender will fucking give you advice.
Yep. 100%.
Yep.
And if that person doesn't, go to the next.
Yeah. And pick your timing,
Yeah.
because I've had people come in at fucking happy hour when I'm the only person there.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, I got a fucking business opportunity I want to talk to you about. I'm like, dude, I have a full bar
Now's
here.
not
Like,
the time.
not the time.
Not
dude.
the time.
That shows inexperience and that'll piss somebody off. But
Yeah.
just go when it's like, that's what the slow times are for, is
Yeah.
for you to connect with the guy behind the
Yep.
bar and to build that relationship. And that's how, if you're a bartender, that's how you build your regulars, is during the slow times, you talk to people,
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, I would just say like it's so important to connect, and to get to the next step, you're going to have to connect to other humans, to mentors, to groups of people, to yourself. Connecting to yourself, start doing things. If you want to make a change, well, what is that change? Go start doing whatever that is, or go witnessing. So say you're a server and you want to be an event manager. Start going to events and witnessing what the event manager is putting in.
Yep.
Like, put yourself in that situation and observe. But more than anything, it's connection, dude. Everything in life is connection, is making connections. It's the sad reality that most things come from somebody you know.
Yeah, I think, I'm just trying to think, because there's so many like awkward people in our industry, and I don't mean that in a bad way. No. I mean that like just in an honest way. I think that like a lot of the restaurant industry is kind of like misfits and people who haven't found success in other areas. And it's like trying to like, whether you're an event planner, manager like you, or a brand ambassador or a bartender, like we are the face and the sales aspect. And you should look to like develop those skills. Like what are the skills that it takes to be this position, to make them more money, and like actively say, okay, I'm going to go be friendlier to people. I'm going to go talk to people. I'm going to go get to know somebody. Like you start to like just say that out loud and do it. Your
really
brain will
simple.
trick yourself into start doing it.
Yeah.
It's
Sometimes even just the simplest things that sound so cliche. When I was in my second year of a full-time brand ambassador, most of these brands I've worked for at this point are very known. And I remember having some questions and like wanting to be one of the best presenters in the room, wanting to educate. I mean, I'm sitting here educating full rooms of all the luxury managers of Hyatt and Hilton and the Ritz. Like, I'm in front of these rooms telling people about our brands.
Yeah.
And that is a huge ask. And the last thing I wanted to do is be the person who was subpar at it, who nobody took much from it. So I asked my company at the time, I said, I want to be incredible. Can you please pay for my public speaking courses?
Wow.
And I was very lucky enough that I convinced them. It wasn't an immediate yes. It was like a plead your case. And I pled my case. And I would say public speaking is one of my strongest suits now.
I agree. You did a very fucking good job the other night. It was very natural.
Thank you.
I was like,
I never want it to seem like I'm teaching something, like I'm a teacher. I want it to seem like we're in a fluid conversation and that you're interested and I'm engaging.
I was impressed. I remember sitting there being like, I don't think I could have done this. Like sitting there, a bunch of different people who I know nobody out, and they're all tasting tequila, and like your knowledge of the different kinds. And I did learn, what was the one? It wasn't the silver it wasn't the Blanco Reposado or the Añejo. It was that third.
Cristalino.
I don't even, dude, my like tequila knowledge is so trash. I love that, by the
Anytime
way.
you want it, hit me up.
Bro, yeah.
I got the agave encyclopedia. give or take.
No, but
Somewhat. I still have lots of learning, but
no, you should like, that is definitely your strength, is like giving public speaking events and hosting those things and stuff. And like, I think that it's a very it's skillful to have that knowledge. So you should fucking keep pushing
and I'm
that shit.
very thankful that I naturally am don't get nervous. Like I wasn't nervous coming on this. I don't get nervous speaking in a room. Also, I've been speaking in front of rooms. I only get nervous when like the big wigs are in the room, just because you're like, oh,
You're
I don't want to mess up.
dude, that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
When there's like this huge presence.
Yeah.
My fucking brain is like, why
glitches.
can't I? Because I think what I do is like, because like we're kind of like around the same age.
Yeah.
We know the same people. We're like, we do this, have the same knowledge.
Yeah.
But like, dude, I had a fucking episode planned with this like really high up person.
Yeah.
And I fucking panicked. And
that's when it happens, you know?
And I'm trying to think, like, I don't know why. Because like there's a connection with what I'm doing, but like I've never connected with a guy who owns 5 fucking restaurants and is on on TV.
Yeah.
So my brain was like, I don't know how to conversate with that.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's when I get like that's when the nerves kick in, obviously. 110%. But I didn't get there overnight.
Yeah.
I was a part-time brand ambassador 6 years ago. Have I always naturally been good with people? Yes, I am lucky. Like I have made myself that way since middle school. But I watched videos of presentations. I saw how to engage a crowd. I took public speaking classes, and I pride myself on now how I am able to speak to a room, but I wasn't born that way.
Yeah, you got to develop.
I definitely have awkward tendencies too. Like sometimes at my event, I'm in the corner, like drinking a little bit of a cocktail really quick just to like ease myself up.
Nerves.
Yeah. Like it's not always that way, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. All right. Well, yo, I appreciate you coming on. Is there anything else that you want to talk about before we fucking close out?
No, dude, we hit so much.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
This was incredible. Once again, you're good at hosting. Yeah, get the conversation going.
Thank you. Thank you
congrats
very much.
to you. We're gonna hopefully help get this. I mean, this is something once again that I don't think we don't have a space for this yet. So I think what you're doing is a great thing. There's not many wellness industry podcasts. I don't think there's any. And I think it's important. I think it's one of those things that is questionably taboo because it's like health, but alcohol, but they can coexist. And I think it's really important what you're doing. And I hope that you and I can help a community together and keep this train on the tracks chugging.
Yo, where can people find you? What's your social media like? Yeah,
so I am Nina Colotogram on Instagram. It is my personal and my work, so my worlds do collide. And then I also have my little side business called Magic City Rodeo. It's my creative space. I'm starting to build more upon that. It's my LLC. And there is where I create. I take surf photography. I encourage, once again, a creative outlet, a creative space that hopefully also makes you a little money at all times. And that's where I create, and I also manage some social media under that, some brands' social media as well. So that's me, Nina Colotogram, Magic City Rodeo. And where my passion is Florida Surf and Shine, which now that I live in California, I need to switch that name. But also trying to encourage that, like Sway. I don't know if you know Sway. He's a local bartender here as well. Shout out to Sway. He's really on my level in health and wellness as well. And we're going to go take some surf photography. We take photography of events together. We're doing a horseback riding lesson here shortly as well, all together. But yeah, that's me, Nina Colotogram.
Cheers, Nina. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.